a selfie with Travis from Chicago.
Yeah.
Got a couple of them. Oh my gosh, you're going to do Travis?
And then you can do the,
He's a celebrity. Did you know that? Travis, you're a celebrity.
What?
You're a celebrity.
it's because they don't know.
Yes, you are.
They don't know the truth.
To who?
A lot of, I've telling some people that, could be consulting with high school, so. And I'm going to actually be going to Chicago, and I'm going to get to meet Travis. You're going to meet Travis Allen? Really? Oh my
Hey guys. You're fine. You're fine. They already know. Hey guys. So I'm here in Chicago, so there are some people I'm in here with. Say hey. That's Travis. Come back. Hey guys. This is tell them about yourself.
My name is Travis. I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm 26 years old. Anything else?
And hey Travis. And he's CEO of this wonderful company. How old are you again?
I'm now 26. I run a company called iSchool Initiative. We do professional development and consulting to help school districts integrate technology. So we're here in Chicago working with a group of teachers, training them to be innovative leaders in education right now.
How old were you when you started this company?
A long time ago now. I was 18, so I've been doing this for about 8 years or so.
Super cool.
All right.
He's okay. He's okay.
I mean, I'm not Annice level, but I'm working on it.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I'm from Texas, and I am almost 5'2" if I move my hair up, and I am an educational technology trainer and consultant, recently retired after 34 years in education.
She's so cool. She's like a wealth. She's like a volcano of knowledge.
I paid her to say that.
She didn't. She's amazing. So this is part of the team. We have a third that's coming. So the next couple of days there's going to be like movement and stuff. You guys don't mind, do you? Awesome. Hey, Sandrika. Hey, Sandrika. How are you? How are you? You guys get your pen and papers and stuff. Today's going to be good. We're only going to be on for like maybe an hour, but it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Did you guys have a good weekend? How was your day? Was it a good day? All right, if it was not a good day, you know my motto. A good day can start right now.
I think we're getting
Okay.
I'll just call and say it in a minute.
I have so many stories about my trip here, like how I have burnt my face off. But it's all good. We're not going to talk about that today. We'll talk about it when my skin grows back. But it's all good. All right, you guys are awfully quiet today. What's going on? Is everything good? You guys are getting pen and paper? Oh, I know. I have tons of stories. It's my fault. I know. What's up, Flavio? Oh, driving? Okay. Okay. So what did you guys think about Friday's scope while we're waiting for the room to fill up a little bit? You may want to go ahead and share this. This is one of the scopes that I will probably delete because this is dealing with business. A little bit, but it translates to business a lot of it. So I usually don't say share and all that crap, but go ahead if you want to. If you know somebody who is traveling down that particular road, Friday really got me thinking. Yeah, Friday got me thinking. So we're really going to delve into it a lot deeper. Yeah. Why did you think it was good info, Sandrika? Y'all are so quiet.
Yes. Yes,
That's the side of something.
What did you glean from it? Not just Sandrika, anybody else. What did you glean from it? I still have to watch. Okay, Flavio. Yeah, watch the replay, catch pieces of it, take notes. This is really good. Especially for our younger group. This is really good, especially for our younger group. If you are 26 and under, especially take notes and even put them to the side if you're not ready for them now. But okay. I was going to take Friday down. I was actually going to take it down. So I'll leave it up. But yeah, absolutely. Being content and grateful. Hashtag grateful, right? Being content. Being content. So we're still I'm gleaning these lessons from Nehemiah chapter 1. And so I think we're going to be in Nehemiah for a while. But these are great business principles. These are great principles. Hey, I was waiting on you. These are great principles to glean and to implement and to kind of live by. You guys are fine. You guys are fine.
Bye, Annice.
Bye. You guys have fun. They're going to see Chicago. Y'all have a good time.
Thanks.
All right. So we're back in Nehemiah 1.
Bye, Periscopians.
Hey, Cesare. How are you? How was your day? Yeah, I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired and my face is burnt off and I don't know what to do with myself. Okay, so we're just going to, okay. Yeah. She's getting ready to hit the road. You're going to New York, right? It is hot here. It is hot. It is hotter here than it is in Atlanta and Texas. I don't know what's going on. This is super weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's hotter here than it is in Atlanta and Texas. Hey, boo, how you doing? All right, so we're ready? Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll? All right, so in terms of when I was thinking about Friday and some of the things that we were discussing on Friday, when we were talking about every place that you land, this is the place where God is saying that he wants his glory, right? And reframing you having instances where you are working or adding value to another man's vision. Where you are, notice what I'm saying, where you're adding value to another man's vision. And so the question on deck, hey, it's nice to see you now. The question on deck is, do you want another man to add value to your vision? Do you want another man to add value to your vision? That's number one. And if the answer is yes, that is one of the main reasons why we need to reframe what we are doing within our 40-hour. Reframe it. Because, even in the PD space, even when I talk to teachers, they're in a classroom, the classroom serves a school, the school serves a district, and the district serves the people in the district, right? But in terms of their classroom, they can think of themselves as being the CEO of their classroom. They're part of a franchise, if that makes sense. And so the responsibility for the output, when you look at it in terms of everything that I have my hands on, even though I'm serving a greater vision, I'm still in control of the output. I'm still in control of the product that I'm bringing to market. And so when I talk about this space of serving someone else, isn't necessarily a bad thing. When a business owner first comes to me and they're like, Annice, I want to, open a business and blah, 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 and maybe I don't know what it is. The first thing I tell them to do for me is to go get a job. I know, it seems counterintuitive. And they're like, what? I don't want to get a job. And I'm like, yeah, you got to get a job. And they're like, why do I have to get a job? And my answer is because I need to see how you handle situations that you don't want to be in. I need to see how you conduct yourself. I need to see what you're doing with yourself. I need to see what happens to your passion. I need to see if you keep the big picture in front of you. I need to see what you're doing when you, essentially, this is what I call it, the cleaning the toilet paradigm, right? We all want the big pretty house, but I've never called anybody on the phone and said, hey girl, what you doing? Girl, I'm about to go clean all these bathrooms, girl. I cannot wait to clean these toilets. Nobody says that. Cleaning the toilet is a necessary evil. And so is anything else that we're doing in our life. Even within the scope of what we say we want to do, there's a cleaning the toilet element. There is a cleaning the toilet aspect. And you learn to embrace that in your 40-hour because you're grateful. You're grateful to have the opportunity of even having the toilet, for lack of a better word. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So in your 40-hour, you're learning so much. Okay, good. You're learning so much. And so that's why I need to see, right. I need to see how you, when you, let me backpedal a little bit. When you have your own company, your own business, your own service, your own idea, your own book, your flourishing, whatever, there's going to be lean moments. There's going to be moments where the people on your team seem like they're really not on your team. It's going to be frustrating moments. It's going to be moments where you're very disenfranchised, you're very discontented. And those are the moments where this is where you're built. You're not built when everything's going smooth. You're not really flourishing when you're flourishing. You're not really flourishing when you're flourishing. You're flourishing when it doesn't feel like you're flourishing. You're flourishing when the storms come. You're flourishing when the grass is brown and dying. That's when you're flourishing, because that's when your sturdiness, your roots really go deep down. That's when you're really flourishing. And so we have to be able to appreciate those times. And so if you can train yourself to appreciate those times in your 40-hour, because they're coming when you're doing it on your own, and now you won't have a steady paycheck. And you're still going to have the bills, you're still going to have the family members saying, you need to go get a job, there's what you're doing, this is not it, nobody's going to like your product, nobody's going to come, blah, 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 blah. So all of that's still going to happen, you know what I mean? And so essentially what I'm saying is you have to train yourself to be excellent when you don't feel like being excellent. And the best way to do that is when you're serving another man's vision, because that's what you want. You want people to come on your team and serve your vision and be excellent. And be excellent. Okay, so what do we think? What do we feel about that? Thank you, Adriana. I love you, baby. All right, so now we're getting ready to get into the lesson. You guys are like, well, why are you showing me? Hey, man of God, we haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey, Ty, we see you. Okay, so we're getting ready to get into the lesson for today. And I need you, yes, I need you to have, hey, I love you, sis, your pen and paper, because I'm going to take you through some exercises, okay? So the first question on deck is, what skills are required at your current position? At what you're doing right now, I need you to list all the skills it requires for you to do what you're doing. Do not tell me your job position. Tell me the skills it takes to fulfill your job description. I want you to write it down. I need at least 7. We're going to go with the number 7 today. 7 skills. 7 skills that are required for you to fulfill your current position. List them. Type in maybe 3. When you've got your 7, type in maybe 3. Yes. 7 skills. It could be, absolutely. It could be. Flesh that out a little bit more. 7 skills that it takes for you to have, that are required for you to fulfill your current position. 7 skills. Most people will say, hey girl, what is it that you do? Counsel, lead, recommend, assign, love it. Communication, professionalism, and organization, love it. Hey girl, what do you do? I'm a customer service rep. Storytelling capacity to keep clients engaged. Okay, I need you to cherish, Ray. I'm going to pick on you a little bit. Capacity to keep clients engaged. What does that mean? Self-management, detail-oriented, and team-oriented. Listening, speaking, and organization. Okay, Ty, flesh out listening. Flesh that out. I want you to be a little more detailed. When people say, what do you do? I'm customer service. What are the skills that it takes for you to engage in excellent customer service? What are the skills? Flesh that out. Do not be generic on your list, because this is gleaning towards, you're getting ready to comprise a list of the things that make you stand out. Yes, they do. Yep, engage people emotionally. And is that tied to keeping clients cherished, Ray? Is that what you're saying? Yep, pain goes further than pleasure in storytelling. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you for giving us that example. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Do not be general on your list. And so if you're struggling, able to identify problems, that's good. Yes, Sandrika, you were very detailed. Yes, but this is what's going to cause you. Keep going with your skills, Sandrika. I want you to keep going with your skills, even that are not technical. Listening to hear what's not being said, listening, hearing what they are saying to address problems. Good, good. Hey, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Okay, when we're talking about these skills, it's because you're going to be able to see what skills that that God is shining a light on, where he's putting his glory on, that you're going to need to transfer forward. These are the skills that are going to be heavily relied on and what God is calling you forward to do. And that thing that you're going to have your own, or the next level of promotion, you've got to master these skills. Physically fit to hold notes and properly speak for extended. Yes, you got to be in good shape to do public speaking. You really do. Like, I stood up all day. So if I look really tired, I'm exhausted. I'm not going to lie. I'm like 4 hours of sleep. We've been presenting all day. And when I get off with you guys, I got to go over my stuff for tomorrow. So your head's got to be in it, okay? And I burnt off half of my face. But we're not going to talk about that today. We'll talk about that when my skin grows back. Yeah. Okay. Project management, several projects, budgeting, client satisfaction. Very good, Sandrika. Keep going. So when you have your 7 skills, list more. Right? List more. List more. As many skills as you can draw out. These are the skills, not the job description. The job description is not the totality of your skill set. No. It takes more skills. It takes more skills to fulfill that job description. So what skills are you leaning on? Thank you. Thank you. I need it. Y'all, please pray for you, girl. All right, number 2. Are you guys ready? How have you grown from being in your current position? How have you grown? Soft skills and your skill set. Yes, and you can keep going. You can keep going. Yes. If you are a person who is not inclined to being on time, yes. Then you being on time consistently, you have grown. And so, you're so funny, Flavio. And so here's the thing. When somebody shows up on time, what are they really communicating? So now I have 2 questions on deck. When somebody shows up on time, what are they really communicating? Respect, yes. What else are they communicating? Responsibility, yes. What else are they? Punctuality, yes. Commitment, yes. Keep going. Reliability, yes. Keep going. Dedicated, yes. Keep going. Honor, yes. Keep going. They know what's required. Absolutely. So they're ready. Integrity, yes. Preparation, keep going. Yes, you can trust them. Trustworthiness comes from just showing up on time. Are y'all catching this? They live nearby, absolutely. Maybe they moved so they would stop being late, right? So they did what they had to do in order to get the outcome that they wanted to achieve. Which is still key. So do you guys see how just showing up on time embodied all of these? Just showing up on time. If you are a person who is inclined to being late, now you're trustworthy, now you're reliable, now you're showing integrity, now you're responsible, now you're dedicated. Just by showing up on time, this is what you are communicating. So, in terms of your current position, or your last position, or current position, how have your skills grown from this particular position? How have you grown? Put in your top 3. More knowledge. Good. Go deeper. Think before I speak. Very good. Go deeper. Very good. I love that. When you say think before you speak, looking at it from all angles, becoming more of a mentor, very good, Centrica. Yes, yes, yes. When you talk about thinking before you speak, when you talk about thinking before you speak, you have really honed in on multiple skills. You've learned how to manage your anger, how to manage your hurt, how to listen, right? And let the other person get their point across. Here's the thing, when you listen, not agree. Notice I'm not saying you listening to agree, but when you just listen and let somebody get out everything that they want to get out and you say nothing, that person respects you more because they feel like you really heard them. Yes. All from watching what you say. People will like you more, even if you disagree wholeheartedly. But if you let them get it all out, if you're not waiting to shoot them your answer or shoot your rebuttal, they will they will respect you more. They will honor you more because they feel like you're honoring them. That's a skill we all need. So what other skills have we learned from our current position? Separate business from personal. That's huge. That's huge. Okay, more aware, speaking positive, more sensitive to the Holy Spirit, and patient. Yes, yes, okay. What about in your hard skill set? Do you type faster? Do you read more? Do you collaborate more? Have you learned more technology, team building? Do you work better in teams? Do you work better, more separately? Procrastination. Where have you grown in your skill set? Where has your skill set been sharper because you've been here? You've learned to avoid toxic coworkers. Okay, okay, that's huge. Certainly for people who would show the other person, you can get a rise out of me, right? He who angers you rules you, and so sometimes your coworkers just come for you because you're an easy target. Yep, that's good. That's good. That's good. Team building, Yep. I'm the oldest person on my team here. Scheduling and following up. That's key. Do you guys want to know a little business stat? Most people, yes, that's really good. Expanded vocabulary. I love that. Slow to anger. Most people who actually win a contract, they won it because they followed up. They followed up. And maybe they had to follow up maybe 3 times, but usually you'll throw out you'll throw out a proposal, you'll follow up on the proposal, the person's maybe on the fence and you just kind of leave them alone, you don't follow up again, and the person that comes behind you and does one more follow-up, they usually win the contract. Follow-up is major, 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 especially if you're going to be a business owner. Especially if you're going to do anything that's on your own, follow-up is going to be key. Yes, learning how to prioritize. Yes, and prioritize in your goal setting. We talk about goals, but some of your goals do not need to be addressed nor accomplished in this particular time season. Nope. But we'll just write the vision, make it plain, and your vision is 1,200 pages long. You're not going to accomplish it. You're not going to accomplish it. You have to understand, you have to understand how to prioritize what is important to God in this season. Time management, absolutely. Time management. And here's the thing, this is another little note. Oh, thank you. I know this is so weird. We can see more of each other and my face is burnt off. And we'll talk about that when my skin grows back. Okay. A lot of people waste time because they don't know what to do. When you find yourself wasting time, you need to ask yourself, am I really wasting time because I just don't know what to do? And I'm scared because I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next step is. And so I'm not doing anything. It's really not procrastination. It's really you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Yes. Yes, or wasting time not thinking about what you need to do because you don't know what to do and you feel in some kind of way because you don't know what to do. So you just gonna scroll Facebook, or I'm notorious for this. Can I just tell my truth? I'm writing 6 books at one time. Maybe that's not the smartest thing to do, but that's what I'm doing. And when it's time for me to sit down and write, you know what I do? Hey, how are you? I pick up the phone and I get on the phone with somebody. When I'm writing my dissertation and I sit down with, when I sit down with research, I talk to somebody and I just type. I just type because I understand the research, so I'm just typing. I know what I'm going to say. But when you're writing kind of off the cuff, it's a scary thing. It's scary to bring anything to market. It's scary to share your soul with people because they're going to judge you. Judging is good or bad. It is, commendable or you're condemning it. You're commending it or you're condemning it. So if you if you purchase, engage what I'm putting out to market, you're commending it. You're judging it. And if you say, ew, this is trash, I hate this, you're stupid, you're condemning it. Does that make sense? So when you put something out into the market that's of you and the investment, it came out of your soul and it came out of your story and it came out of your acumen, you're putting it out there for people to judge. Well, I don't care what people say about what I did. I did it. Well, then why did you put it out? Right? Whatever you put out, people buy in, that means they're going to judge, right? Right. So when it's time for me to start writing like I'm supposed to, I will pick up the phone and I'll get on ministry calls. This is an ease. I'm just telling my truth. I'll get on ministry calls and the ministry calls take me 4 and 5 hours. And then when I get off, I'm like, oh God, I really served your purpose today. And then I go to bed. Because I'm tired. The ministry call took 5 hours. Y'all see what I just did there? And it's really not Jesus stuff. Because I initiated it. Jesus would have had someone else. Jesus don't need me to do what he's going to do. Jesus don't need me to fix it. Right? I need Jesus to fix it. Right? Jesus don't need me to fix it. And that's why the ministry call was so long. Let me help you. That's why the ministry call took 5 hours, because you were not the person that the information was supposed to come through. That's why they could not receive it. And so you praying and you praying and you counseling and you counseling, you praying and you praying. You're out of order and you're out of season. God knew who he was going to blow through, bring by to address his child. He does not need you to fix it, Jesus Jr. Right? And so I deal with that heavily. I will get on the phone. Right. I need to be doing, guys, can I help you guys? We have a small window. I know you guys are like, Annice, and it's 50-50. Annice, if you say it again. Okay, I'm going to let it go. Okay, no, I'm not. So you have a small window. You have a small window prophetically. But here's the thing. You know why I have 6 books to write? I did not have to write 6 books at one time. There was a season when God said, write 1 book. And then 1 book turned into 2 books. And then 2 books turned into 3 books. Not because he's releasing all of this content because I'm so deep and wonderful, but because I did not do the first thing that he told me to do when he told me to do it. And so now it's compounded. And so he's having to pull me through a strategy because it's holding up things. There's only one road. All right. There's only one road to the palace. You're not in writer's block. You're not in writer's block. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. I'm sorry. There's no such thing. You cannot hide. You cannot hide behind that. You're hiding behind, can I help you? Okay, do y'all mind if I help Prophetess real quick? Do you mind? When it comes to content, when it comes to pushing things out to market, you don't have writer's block. You're over analyzing. Hey Tracy, I see you, woman of God. You're over analyzing the whole process. And for people who are very creative, writers, intellectual, I call it creative intellectuals, right? There's this very analytical side of you that is analyzing the whole process, and in the back of your mind, you are counting up all the costs. You're counting up how much is this going to cost, how much time is this going to cost. You're counting up all of these things. And then the creative side of you is saying, right, don't worry about that. Then the analytical side of you is saying, no, I need to have an output now. If I sit down and write this book and I give 4 hours to this thing, that is 4 hours I'm not going to get any immediate income on. And then, so here comes your analytical mind. And so then I write, and I know people who have written 15 books and none of their books are bestsellers. None of their books are even on Amazon. I don't even know why, right? And so we're over analyzing the whole process, but it's not writer's block. We've run ahead and we're thinking too much. How do you tame a lion? You go inside the cage of the lion. You let the lion alone for a minute, and then you go, the lion tamer, he doesn't just step into the cage. He introduces one foreign thing to the lion at a time. So he will introduce his hand. That's a thought. His hand. And then the lion, not snapping at his hand anymore, he'll introduce his other hand. And then he'll put a leg in. And the next thing you know, now the whole lion tamer dude is standing in the cage with the lion. Unnatural. You saying writer's block is standing in your territory with you. It means there's a lion tamer, baby, on your territory. It's unnatural. You are creative at the core. You are creative at the core. There's no way to shut down the wells of information and creativity. We are built to produce. We are built to produce. We are like water. The wells, the water of intellect, the water of creativity on the inside of you never runs dry. Why? Because it's coming from a source that cannot run dry. It's coming from God. God, let me help you. Your writing, baby, is not your writing. Your writing is God's breath through you. It is not you writing those books. These are the words of God. These are the words of God. This is the breath of God. This is the movement of God. This is God using you to get his message to this generation. This is God using you to engage with the human race. This is God using you. You're just a vehicle. It's not your words. The responsibility is not on you. You cannot run out. When we talk about writer's block, it's because we're looking at the whole picture. And we're overanalyzing it until we get to the place that we are not doing anything. So the lion tamer picks up a stool. The stool has 4 legs. And so the lion wakes up time to time. He's like, roar, you know what I mean? Roar. I don't know why he's roaring like that. The lion got a problem. So he picks up the stool, and the lion tamer, all he has to do is move the stool around. And the lion becomes paralyzed because he cannot focus on one leg at a time. He's focusing on all 4. That paralyzes him. The lion is paralyzed. A lion. He could eat this lion tamer up in 1 second, and now he's sitting there, standing there, laying there, and he cannot move because he's paralyzed by trying to analyze too many things at one time. It's not because he didn't have the power. It's because he was bamboozled into believing. He was bamboozled into letting that which is foreign close to him. When we think about the word, when we talk about God giving us the power to get wealth, the power to produce, when I'm talking about wealth, I'm not talking about money, but the power. He's given us the power to produce. He's given us the power to produce something that keeps running, places that keeps running, legacy that keeps running. He's giving you the power of prosperity, nothing missing, nothing lacking, and nothing broken. That power comes from him. That exousia, that dunamis comes from him. Is this making sense? And so for everybody who says, you know, I have writer's block, you need to stop saying that. It's not cute. And yeah, I know, it may feel like I'm, you know, well, that's one thing I never say. I mean, I call a duck in my life. I'm like, you are procrastinating. You're not doing right. But it's not writer's block. The more you pour out, the more you will get. It just comes. The same way this idea came to you, the same way this content came to you, there's content and ideas behind it. The same way this product came to you, there are products behind it. But you're not going to get them if you haven't pushed out what's in front of it, right? So the flow is dammed up. That's all that's going on because you haven't pushed this out. That which is behind it, it's held up. So you don't have writer's block. One way when you feel like I really do have writer's block is just sit. This is what I do. I sit down with a blank piece, screen up, and I just type. I am such a great writer. I love to write. I am such a great writer. I love to write. I am such a great writer. I love to write. And I keep typing it and I keep typing it and I keep typing it because I'm sending a signal to my brain, we getting ready to do this. And then before you know it, the words begin to flow. Even if I have to edit it, even if I have to go and copy and paste and delete 80% of the page, the 20% that's left, that's where the flow is. Undam the pipe. Some of you guys are sitting on content that's like 8 years old. Undam the pipe. What's on top is stagnant. And there's only one way to undam it, and that's to undam it. You do not have writer's block. It's impossible. Okay? But I'm going to pray for you. I'm praying for you. Every writer, I'm praying for you because I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so the next question is, how would you like to grow professionally from your current position? How would you like to grow more professionally from your current position? For people who hate their job, you should be struggling right now. And that's the whole point. Yep. What does that mean, Ty? No general answers. I want to grow in this by blah, 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 blah. Be very specific. Be very specific. What is your expectation of your 40-hour or the place that you're serving? You got to have an expectation of growing more in your serving. This is not about benefits and value to you. This is about getting benefits and value from you. How can I find a way to dig deeper so that more falls, tumbles, flows out of me that is beneficial and more valuable to this particular community? When you can tap into that, write this down. When you can tap into this, you know promotion is right around the corner. God is about pressing. And I don't want to use that, I don't want to throw the term around excellence, because most of us do not know what excellence is. It is subjective, yes. But what does excellence mean? What does it mean to you? Take that list into the presence of God. Okay, God, now what does excellence in my life look like to you in this season? Some people, I'm excellent. I'm about to come for some of y'all. But I'm just being honest. I'm excellent. I love the Lord. I get up, I pray, I do these things, I fast 8 days out of the week. But when it's time for you to actually produce, to do the work, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. And so the power of God is seen by what happens in the flow of your work. In the flow of what you put your hands to, in the flow of what you're touching, not when you're in that deep place with God and you're like, oh, because that is for you. Now God is saying, after you get up from this place, now what? What am I telling you to do? Why are you spending all this time with me and getting all of these downloads and all of this great revelation if you're not going to push it out to serve people on purpose? Eat and work. Eat and work. Eat and work. We hide. So I'm just going to help you. Can I help you? We hide sometimes behind that stuff, guys. Can I tell you guys a story? I know it's getting dark in here. I probably should turn on the light. But then you will see that I burnt my face. But I'm not going to talk about that. Okay. All right. When I was 22, we'll just say 22. Okay, it's my first and only corporate gig. My first and only, yes, corporate gig. Well, the first day I went to orientation, I knew I never wanted to work a corporate gig again. I knew it. I knew it. But this was my time of training and I blew it. Let me tell you how I blew it. So this was a time I was, really in the prayer ministry, and I was like really doing like, oh my gosh, every time the doors of the church opened, even when the doors weren't open, y'all, I was like in the parking lot waiting for the doors of the church to open. I was at church, I was at time, I was the last person to leave. I was at every prayer meeting because I had to, y'all know my story. I was on, multiple ministries. I was doing ministry. I had such great revelation. I was fasting every single day of my life. I was fasting. But I would call off of work to go to church. Hey, woman of God. I would call out of work because I was so deep in the spirit. Nope. And I'm not talking about because it was Sunday. I'm calling out church. No. When there was revival, and revival was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Or it was a day conference. You know how sometimes it's like a day conference with the free night sessions. You at the day sessions. And I didn't go about it the right way, putting the time in to get the time off. It was like, no, I really feel like God is leading me. God is leading you to do that every single time, to call in and lie. Because I wasn't calling in saying, hey guys, the word of the Lord for me that today is I need to stay home because there's this great conference and I'm going to partake in the conference. That is the word of the Lord over my life. No, y'all know I wasn't saying that. Hey guys, I'm not feeling good. Right? How you going to go serve the Lord and you lying? I lost my job. I was one of the top producers there consistently. Yeah, y'all can laugh at me. I'm just telling the truth though. Right, Tracy? I was one of the top producers consistently. That's what God was showing me. I had favor with people there. I was banging out stuff because it was easy. It was easy. It wasn't about the job. God was saying, I was calling you there because I was calling you to a place of serving. I was calling you to a place of purpose. I was training that purpose and potential on the inside of you, and you lied your way out of it in the name of God. And my story, unfortunately, is not too far from the left from many of the believers. Yep. There's one road to the palace. There's one road to the palace. And there were great repercussions when I lost that job. Great repercussions when I lost that job. Yep. And it wasn't because, and so then, because the repercussions were upon me. Oh God, how can this happen? I serve you. I fast all the time. I'm at church all the time because I love you, because I love you. And God is saying there are two sides of this coin. There has to be integrity on both sides of the fence. We cannot taint the name of God and LOL or air quote what we call secular, because it's still our testimony. And so here you have this girl who can prophesy, lay hands on people, but she's late and she calling in and she lying. Where is God in that? But I was hiding under the guise of God, and it was not. Get up, eat, and work. This is the season where God is calling your hands. And I'm not saying not to fast. I'm not saying that. But you guys get what I'm saying. We cannot hide behind things and say, oh, we can't do it because, right? If you have a certain prayer watch, you need to go to bed earlier. You need to go to bed earlier if it's hindering your performance. In the secular setting, in the place that God, here's the thing, wherever your feet land, this is where God has called you to be. Not just in the four walls, right? And so if you have a particular prayer watch and your prayer watch is, in them weird hours of the morning, like 2 o'clock, you cannot be on Facebook on the phone at 11 p.m. You, my friend, need to use wisdom and you need to go to bed. so that you can be fruitful in the prayer watch and fruitful when you had to get up at 6 a.m. and get ready to go to work. And be faithful over another man's vision, which is in the vision that God has for you in this particular time. Does this make sense? Is this making sense? You already been on for 45 minutes. Okay. So I want you to keep these questions. I want you to flesh them out, and I want you to go even deeper. Even deeper. Good, 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 good. Okay, so now we're still in Nehemiah 1. If you're not there, I need you to look at it. Okay. All right. So the next question is, does everybody have Nehemiah? Let me open it up. I'm going to be in Nehemiah for a while because this is so good. This is just so, so, so good. All right. So the question of the day, this is the driving question that these scopes are about, okay? There's a driving question that I'm really dealing with you guys as we flesh this out. And so the driving question is, if you cannot stand out now, chapter 1, verse, I know you're like, verse what, Annice? We're going to start with, it would be great if I was in Nehemiah. We're going to start with, I want to say verse 2. Nehemiah, Esther, Job. Come on, phone. There you go. Nehemiah 1, I'm done. Yes. Yes, Nehemiah 1, we're going to start with 2, verse 2. So the driving question is that I need you guys to ask yourself is, if you believe, thank you, Cesare, if you believe that God is calling you to do something in the marketplace, meaning own vision, not working for another, or doing something on the side that's on your own that you're in control of. If you believe that God's calling you to do that, how are you going to stand out? This is a business question. This is a marketing question. Anytime a new client comes to me, how are you going to stand out? And from those lists that you just developed, your stand out marketable skill set is in there. Your standout marketable skill set is in that list. But here's the thing, baby. If you're not standing out now in the 40 hour, how are you going to stand out on your own in a whole market that's flooded with people who do the same thing, bring the same thing, supply the same thing? How are you going to stand out? If you can't stand out in your 40 hour now, how are you going to stand out then? This is a question that you have to ask yourself constantly. In every realm that you have, what is the standout quality? The standout meaning not that I do that makes me pop my collar because I'm all that, but the standout thing that God's glory, God's breath is really on, that causes me to be set apart even in a market that's oversaturated. All right, so let's talk about this. Can I help you guys? Can I help you? Because for some people, this is where you're getting stuck. God is telling you to do something and you feel like the market is oversaturated. You feel like there are too many people doing the same thing, right? You feel like there are too many people doing the same thing. There's no room for me, or if everybody's doing the same thing, how am I going to make money? Right? How am I going to make money? Yes. Here's the thing. Now turn your face to the 40 hour. Isn't there multiple people doing the same job? For one company, multiple people doing the same job to fulfill a need. Did you catch that? Multiple people doing the same job to fulfill a need. Multiple people doing the same job to fulfill a need. Multiple people doing the same job to fulfill a need. Period, point blank. And so if you can go into one company and you could get a chair, you could get a seat, you could work to fulfill a need of the company through the client, through serving the client, then you can definitely go to market. Does that make sense? And so a lot of times people they stop, they get frozen when they start thinking about, where is there room for me? Rehoboth, Absolutely, there's room for you. There's room for you. But if you're talking about really standing out and walking in your God purposeful potential, you've got to master what God is calling you to master. And that's your purpose. That's walking in your purpose. That's walking in your purpose. Okay? Verse 2. Nehemiah 1, verse 2. One of my brethren came. I didn't say his name because I always chop it up. That's funny. You can. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm a coach, but all right, y'all ready? Nehemiah 1, verse 2. One of my brethren came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. All right. So we read that, right? So what really stands out about that? You ready? So my question to you is, what are you inquiring about that none of your tribe is wondering about or worried about? What are you inquiring about that nobody else in your tribe, nobody in your peer group is wondering about or even worried about? Do I need to say that again? Y'all are so quiet today. Y'all are so quiet. Did y'all catch that, or do I need to repeat it? Okay. What are you inquiring about that nobody in your tribe, your peer group, is wondering about or even worried about? Verse 2. And his brethren came, and he, Nehemiah, inquired to them about the remnant. They didn't come and bring the conversation to him. He was like, hey guys, what's going on? Well, I mean, what's the story? What's the news? What's going on? What in your sector, in the church, outside the church, whatever, if you are saved and God has called you to a secular mountain and his glory is still on it, and that is your kingdom work and that is your ministry, period, point blank. What is God, or what are you inquiring about? What do you wonder about? What do you crave to know? What information are you looking for that nobody else seems to be worried about? It's almost like you're standing in a room and you're like, do you see that? Do you see that? Does anybody? And no, everybody else is like, you found your niche. You see how that happened? What in you, in whatever processes you have to deal with, and whatever processes you have to handle, and in whatever processes you're engaged in, what stands out to you that it doesn't seem to stand out to anybody else? You even hear it in conversation. Girl, I don't know. I'm like, every time I go here, every time we hear this and this and this happens. Well, what does everybody else say? Nobody else says, amen. Nobody else says anything else about it. It's like I'm the only person that sees it. Eureka! Bells are going off! Bells are going off! Bells are going off! This is your thing. This is the thing that God is saying to you. My glory is on. I'm going to solve through you. Pay attention. Pay attention. So you need to answer that question. And if you're not asking questions, if you're not wondering or worried about certain processes, well, gosh, started Annice, the Bible says be anxious for nothing. But I'm supposed to go in my prayer closet and pray. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm being a troll. I need you to go into your prayer closet, and I need you to pray, and I need you to come out ready to work. When we go into prayer, it is because you're anxious, or you're about to be anxious. You're wondering about something. So instead of sitting in my anxiety, I take it to God. Did y'all catch that? Whenever I feel anxiety coming on, whenever I feel worried about something, I take it to God, right? And so if there is a blaring light that's going on in you and you feel, what's the word I'm looking for? You feel zeal about it. On either side of the fence, zeal can be negative or positive. Zeal can be, happy or not happy. Some people are zeal trolls, right? Whatever you, I'm having a brain fart. I'm so tired. Okay. Yes. Whatever you find that's in you that keeps coming up, and maybe you asked a couple of times. This is an indicator for somebody. You've said something about it a couple of times, but nobody else seemed to care. I'm like, oh girl, that's nothing. That's how we've always been doing it. Eureka, eureka, eureka. God is saying, go fix the process. Go fix the process. Many services, products, businesses, ministries are broken because a process is broken. If you would just fix the process, it would change the outcome. There's so much to be gleaned in how something is done so that we can get the what is being done to market properly. Okay, Annice, flesh this out for me. I'm glad you asked. What does this look like in real time? All right, so let's say we have a new membership class. I'm gonna take it to ministry. Okay, let's say we don't have an issue with people joining the church. We don't have an issue with people joining our ministry. If you don't have a four-wall ministry, I don't have a problem with people joining. I have a problem with people sticking and staying. And so I'm going to ask you, what's the process? What is the intake process? And so along that road, what I usually find with ministries is the intake process is about you, the ministry, giving them, the participant, all this information about you, that we learn very little about the person. We learn very little about what their everyday life looks like. We learn very little about where they've come from. We learn very little about their vision. About their vision. What is the main profession in your ministry? What are the hopes and dreams and goals of women who are 25 to 30 in your ministry? It matters. It matters because when they feel that you are about them, they're going to stick and stay. It matters. But for many ministries, we have no idea why this person is here, and certainly if it's not a four-wall ministry, how this person linked up to us, and why they're sticking with us, right? And so eventually they fall off because they understand, oh, well, it was nice in the beginning, but they won't even notice if I don't even come because they're not present. Fix the process. And so while I must give you information about our vision, what is your vision so that our vision can serve your vision? Because we need you to go out into the world and produce that God vision. That's apostolic. Can we build people and then send them out to do the God-ordained thing upon their life? Is it okay if I raise up a league of international business owners and they go out into the world and they build multinational companies and they employ more employees that are inside of my own ministry? No, we want them to stay. We want them to do. We want them to do. And so it's like, okay, God called me here, but God also called me to produce something. I need you, ministry. I need you, people in the ministry, to come alongside me and help me produce this God sound in the earth so that I could take up my cross, so that I could bear my own burden in the space of the earth for heaven. Does this make sense? Is this good? And so what processes? I just used, a church process because I know we have, some people who do full-time ministry, if you will. But even processes in the workplace. You have a job to do and you're like, why are we doing all these steps? Why do these, well, this is what we've always done. This is what we've always done. Then you build a new process. Build a new process. Build a new process and test that new process and you keep that new process. Even if they don't use it, then you build another one. You're funny. We believe them cookies gonna be so good, girl. And then build another one. And you build another one. Here's the thing. Can I help you guys? Can I help you guys? I want to help you guys. Can I help you guys? And I told this today to a room full of teachers. So what if they do not do or use what you've produced? So what? So what if you came up with a new set of standards and you gave them to the powers that be and they're like, oh, this is great, and they don't do anything with them? What most people do, what mediocrity does, is it goes back into its corner and says, oh, well, they didn't like it, never mind, I'm just going to keep my ideas to myself, I'm not going to tell anybody else my ideas. And God is saying, no, baby, I'm teaching you how to build processes. And so just because they didn't want them, doesn't mean somebody else won't want them. And so now you have a new process. Yes, now you have a new process, and God is saying, keep that process. And because sometimes people have to understand, what you rejected, I am approving, says God. What man is rejecting, I am approving. And just because they rejected it here doesn't mean I'm going to open up a door where they will not only receive this process, but the process that you're building to undergird the first process. Process 1.2, process 1.5, process 1.7, process 2.0, process 2.5. But what we do, we take it personal. Oh, they're not listening to me. Oh, they don't hear me. Oh, it wasn't good enough. And God is saying, it really was. It really was. Right? It's kind of dark, guys. I'm going to turn the light on. This house is kind of weird. I'll be right back. Where's the light? Oh, it doesn't work. Oh my gosh, what's the light switch? Jesus. Oh. Okay, never mind. I don't know where the light switch is. Okay, so we're only going to be on for a little bit longer. Okay, so is this good? I don't know how we don't have light switches. Okay. All right. And then, all right, good. And so the next verse talks about how they tell him, of course, we went through this on Friday, they tell him essentially, oh my gosh, the walls are broken down and the gates have been burned. And then the Bible says that Nehemiah immediately goes into mourning, prayer, fasting before God. No, it is not a light sensor, girl. I mean, I could open the blinds. Should I do that? I think I should. Because it's like dark. But it's okay, we're only going to be on for a minute. All right? Yeah. Oh, I should? Okay, Sandra. Treasury, because you said so. Okay, that helped. All right, praise God. I know, because it was like dark, and this room, where we are is like 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, and I'm the only person in here, and it's like really old. Yeah. Okay, so he does all these things before God. All right. No, number one, notice how he went before God. Notice what he did before God before he got any advice, any counsel of man. He didn't say, hey guys, what do you think? Hey guys, I've got an idea. Maybe we should build a wall. He went before God and he was broken. He went before God and we see his passion emerge. Your passion will emerge at the right time. We're talking about purpose and potential, but passion is what gets behind purpose and potential, and it pushes you to the next level. Because passion will break you. Passion is not pretty. Passion will make you cry. Passion will make you go broke. Passion will keep you going. Passion. Not necessarily purpose alone. Purpose alone. And so God gives us purpose. We are released in the earth with a purposeful potential. We are released to serve a particular people, a particular time, particular setting, particular purpose. But it's the passion. It's that thing that you would die for. And that comes along purpose. And now we see you standing in a moment of not just momentum, but we see you standing in a moment of, this is a dangerous moment. That's the best way I can say it. That's a dangerous moment because there's nothing that can stop you. It's a dangerous moment. Once you've gone through all of these questions that I'm talking about, and you notice the things that you're thinking about, the processes that you're wondering about, and then all of you guys have experienced this. When somebody brings you some news, when somebody tells you something, when you watch something on television and you break. And nobody even knows that you break. Nobody even knows that your heart begins to weep. Nobody knows that you deal with this every time you handle this. That is the Spirit of God. That is the Spirit of God endowing and breathing on your passion. Because you need passion to move in the purpose. When the purpose becomes dry, when it seems like the funding isn't there, when people aren't coming alongside you, and so that's why it's dangerous. You become dangerous when passion and purpose collide. You become dangerous because there is no stopping you. You don't care how many people say no. You don't care how many people don't like you. You don't care how many people are, against you. You are driven. There's tunnel vision on you, and there's nothing you're afraid of because you have said in this place of passion, I would die. I would die for this thing. I would die. I would give my life for this thing. I would give my life for this thing. And so what happens when we are not dealing in or are engaging in the obedience of your first works? That book that God is telling you to push out. That product that God is telling you to push out. When he's telling you to go back to school. That thing that he's telling you to do. If you have not engaged in your first works, which is obedience, to hear intently, to intently engage with what you're hearing, passion is not going to be released. And so a lot of times God is telling you to do a thing and you're just like, well, I don't feel the emotions that we tie to a passion. Passion is more than an emotion. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel this. I feel like that if I'm doing this, I should feel like this. I should be doing this. If this is what God has really called me to, and I don't feel nothing. And that's because you're supposed to do this thing because it's inside of your purpose, but it's going to be the next thing that is beyond that we're going to see passion released. You got to do your first works. What is God calling you and telling you to do now? How are you supposed to engage the environment right now? How are you supposed to show up and serve people right now? First works. First works. First works. And here's the thing. I know we always talk about do not despise small beginnings. And I'm going to say this to you again. I'm going to say it over and over and over and over. Who told you where you are right now is even small? Who told you? Is it because of how man engages with you? Is it because how, we have this thing that if we feel like people have attained or amassed a certain thing, then they should be, held to this certain standard. Surely they have something to say. Surely they have benefit. Surely they have value, and I'm going to listen to what they say. Who told you where you are right now that you are small? If God directed your feet here, there's nothing small about where you are. There's nothing small about who you are. There's nothing small about what you produce. There's nothing small about your sound. There's nothing small about your voice. Who told you? Who told you that this was a small beginning? Who told you that? God, if this is where you place me, I'm good with that and I'm cool with that, and I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up in a big way. I'm going to show up in a broad space. I'm going to show up and I'm going to be present. I'm going to show up and I'm going to add value. Every day I leave my 40-hour, people are going to miss me. What a great expectation. Because that's ministry. That means that you're loving people. When I leave, people are going to miss me. When I'm not there, my presence will be missed, because the presence in me, the presence of God, is not in the midst of the people through me. What is your expectation every day you go into your job? What is your expectation every day you show up and you serve? And maybe, when you're doing those things that you really don't want to do, what is your expectation? The juice is in how we serve. The juice is in how we engage people. That's where the juice is. And if we want to live in a place where, the question is, what is my purpose? Why am I here for? God, I want to live in passion. I want to live in passion, not the emotion of that we equate with passion, but that place that I'm doing the work I would give my life for. I'm doing the work I would give my life for. I'm doing my life's work. I'm operating in my life's purpose. I'm giving you all of me so that you will give me all of you that's needed to perform this particular task. That when I'm in my garden and I know that I'm getting ready to come up against the worst possible thing in my life, I too will say, nevertheless, not my will, but your will, because I'm so gone. I'm ruined by passion. I want to be passion ruined. You know what I mean? I want to be so far gone in what God is calling me to do that every time I show up, I'm engaging God. Do not despise where you are right now, because there's one road. There's one road to the palace. And that's the trip you are on. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what you've gone through. That's the road that you are on. What do you guys think? Hey, thank you for joining us, Ben. What do you guys think? Y'all are awfully quiet. Oh, I know you're packing. You're excited and packing. We know you're packing. Amen. Amen. Good. This week, we need to focus. We really need to focus on what is God. How do you apply this to a small business and work in a one-person office? Okay, thank you. That is a great question. How do I apply this in a setting where I'm the only person that works in the setting? Right? Great, Tracy. Just because, number one, when you work for yourself, when your name is on that check that you're drawing, you really aren't working for yourself. You work for your customer. That's the number 2 business principle that I teach. You are accountable to the person you serve. You work for someone else, okay? Well, you're accountable to them, and you're accountable to the people that you engage in. And you are engaging with people, even though you're in that office by yourself, you are engaging with people, and the caliber, the work that you're doing it, and it's going somewhere to someone. The work that you're doing is going somewhere to someone. So when you do your work, when you're pushing out your stuff, how are you engaging it? How can you engage it next level? How can you engage it next level? How can you present it next level? What can you add to it that will bring it next level? How can you present benefits and value to the end user and they didn't ask you for it? What are you doing that people are not asking you to do, but you're doing it anyway because you can, because you're able, because you're capable, because you're willing, because you're passionate, because you're hungry, because you're potent, because you're purposeful? If we don't push ourselves, nobody else will. That's just the truth. If we don't push ourselves, nobody else will. And we've only scratched the surface of the excellence, the wonder, the creativity that's on the inside of us. We've only scratched the surface. When we do it more consistently, we're going to see that we're digging deeper and we're producing a more consistent, excellent sound. That was a great question. And so while the rest of my team, for instance, while the rest of my team, 4-person team, while the rest of my team is going to the city of Chicago, I'm getting ready to get off of here and I'm going through my content again to make sure that my content, which I presented over and over and over and over, is appropriate for this setting. I could be out frolicking and loving on a city that I've been wanting to come to for months and months and months now, but I'm going to shut this down. Yes. Or your presentation. What can you do better? How can you do it better? Right? And so I'm gonna shut it down, and I've got to go into and make sure that it is appropriate and that the people that I come into, not so that I can get great feedback results, right? It's not about that. I don't care if you don't give me feedback, but that you leave and God served you and honored your presence sitting in these presentations. That's my prayer. That's my prayer. And so nobody's asking me to do it. Nobody's telling me to do it. This is how I want to show up. I'm saying to God, I'm so grateful to be in this seat that I'm going to work and I'm going to work and I'm going to work and I'm going to work so that people will get out of it what you want them to get out of it. It's not about me. It's about me showing up and serving and that God-ordained thing that he wants his glory to rest on. Nobody's going to push you. Nobody's going to push you. What can you do to stand out so that people will call on you because your work ethic, because what you produce, because your presence has a sound attached to it? That I'm looking for an email with boring content, but because it's from you, right? Favor comes to us. Yep, when we push ourselves. I know, right? I send a lot of emails with boring content. I ain't gonna lie. But because they understand the passion that's behind it, it makes it come alive. Because my heart is in it. My heart's in it. Right, Sandrika? All them codes. Right? Amen. So I thank you guys for hanging with me. We've been on an hour. You guys are awesome. Everybody's awesome. I believe that this is going to be a good week. I believe. Here's the thing. I want you guys to arrive at the end of 2017 and to have accomplished everything from 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014 that you did not accomplish. I love you too. I want you guys to be intact in one piece, and I want you to have the energy and the vigor to keep running. And so that's why we're assessing ourselves and we're assessing what we're doing. We're making sure we haven't fallen asleep in the practice. It's time to wake up. Yeah, it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Amen. Yes, yes. Come on, keep speaking that. All right. So I will probably have a little bit more time tomorrow. So we will pray. Because I'm not going to be on Wednesday because I'll be traveling back. But we will pray, and we can pray for Amen. Amen. Y'all are sweet. I love you guys. I love you guys. I pray that you're invigorated. We will pray for your 40 hour. We'll pray for your school set. We'll pray. Amen. Hey, we're going to pray. Some of us are in really tight spaces in our workplace. And we're going to pray that God's going to give you the power, the insight to make that space roomy. To open up that space because of the sound that's coming through you. That people would see you. We're going to pray. We're going to pray for people who are getting ready to step out or to make something new or to open a business or to freelance. We're going to pray for you tomorrow. We're going to pray together. We're going to pray for each other because it's time for us to arise. Our light has come and the glory of the Lord has risen upon us. Arise. That means you got to do it. Right? The Holy Spirit is not going, right? Arise. Get up. You arise. You get up. You stand up. You come forth. You come out. You arise. So we're going to pray that tomorrow that you arise and you arise in excellence. And it's consistent and you're training yourself. And there's an expectation over your own life from your own hand, from your own mind, from the heart of God to you, and that you arise to it. Amen? Amen. So your girl is tired, and she burnt off half her face, but we'll give that story when it grows back. All right. I love you guys. Y'all are awesome. I'm praying for you. Tomorrow's going to be an excellent day. You are excellent. Everything you do is excellent. God's... I'm going to tell the story, Tracy. God's breath be upon you. I'm praying God's breath be upon you. God's breath be upon you. In Jesus' name. Love you guys. Good night.